This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. This is part 2. I'm condensing to try to get finished in 2 parts. Continue Donald Trump's speech, CIA, in the first week of his, after his election to president. You know, when I was young, and when I was, of course, feeling young, I felt like I'm 30, 35, 39. Somebody said, "Are you young?" I said, "I think I'm young." You know, I was stopping there in the final month of the campaign, 4 stops, 5, 7 stops, speeches in front of 25,000, 30,000, 15,000, 19,000 from stop to stop. I feel young. When I was young, we're all sort of young. When I was young, we were always winning things in this country. We'd win with trade. We'd win with wars. At a certain age, I remember hearing from one of my instructors, the United States has never lost a war. And then after that, it was like, we haven't won anything. We don't win anymore. The old expression, to the victor belongs the spoils. You remember, I always used to say, keep the oil. I wasn't a fan of Iraq. I didn't want to go to Iraq. But I will tell you, when we were in, we got out wrong. And I always said, in addition, keep the oil. Now I said it's for economic reasons. But if you think about it, Mike, if we kept the oil, you probably wouldn't have ISIS because that's where they made their money in the first place. So we should have kept the oil. But, okay, maybe you have another chance. But the fact is, should have kept the oil. I remember that the group is going to be one of the most important groups in this country toward making us safe, toward making us winners again, toward ending all the problems. We have so many problems that we're interrelated that we don't even think of, but interrelated to the kind of havoc and fear that this sick group of people has caused. So I can only say that I'm with you 1,000%. And the reason you're my first stop is that you know I have a running war with the media. They are the most dishonest human beings on earth. And they sort of made it sound like I had a feud with the intelligence community. And I just want to let you know the reason you're number 1 stop is exactly the opposite. And they understand that too. And I was explaining about the numbers. We did a thing yesterday, and then the speech. Did everybody like the speech? I've been given good reviews, but I have a massive field, but we had a massive field of people. You saw them packed up, get up this morning. I turned to one of the networks and they show an empty field. I say, wait a minute. I made a speech, looked out. The field it looked like a million and a half people. They showed a field where there was practically nobody standing there. And they said Donald Trump did not draw well. I said it was almost raining. The rain should have scared them away. But God looked down and said, you're not going to let it rain on your speech. The fact when I saw it, I first started, I said, oh no, the first line, I got hit by a couple of drops. And I said, this is too bad, but we got to go right through it. But the truth is that it stopped immediately. It was amazing. And then it became really, really sunny, and then I walked off, and it poured right after. I left, it poured. But you know, we had something that's amazing because it looked like 1.5 million people, whatever it was. But I went all the way back to Washington Monument, and I turned on, and by mistake, I got this network that showed an empty field. And we do 250,000 people. Now, that's not bad, but it's a lie. We had 25,000 literally around. And I know in this little bowl that we constructed that 250,000 people, the rest of the 20-block area, all the way back to Washington Monument was packed. So we caught them, and we caught them in a beauty, and I think we're going to pay a big price. We had another one yesterday, which was interesting. The Oval Office, there was a beautiful statue of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I also happen to like Churchill, Winston Churchill. I think most of us like Churchill. He doesn't come from our country, but he had a lot to do with us. Help us, real ally. And as you know, the Churchill statue was taken out. The bust, as you know, is probably have read, the Prime Minister is coming over to our country very shortly and wants to know whether I'd like it back. I said, absolutely. But in the meantime, we have a bust of Churchill. So a reporter for Time magazine and I have been on the cover like 14 or 15 times. I think we have an all-time record in the history of Time magazine. Like if Tom Brady is on the cover, it's one time because he won the Super Bowl or something, right? I've been on the cover 15 times this year. They don't need a record. Mike, that can never be broken. Do you agree with that? What do you think? But I will say that they said it is very interesting that Donald Trump took down the bust of the statue, Dr. Martin Luther King, and it was right there. But there was a cameraman in front of it, laughter, Noah Zink, and from Time magazine writes a story about I took it down, and I never do that because I have great respect for Dr. Martin Luther King. But this is how dishonest the media is. Now the big story. The reaction was like, where? What's the line? Or do you even bother putting it in? So I only said the line because I love honesty. I like honest reporting. I will tell you, final time, although I will say it when you let in your 1,000 of other people and have been trying to come, because I'm coming back. We're going to get you laughter in the room. We may have to get you a little larger room. You know, maybe it will be built by somebody that knows how to build and won't have columns. You understand that? We get rid of the columns. So I just want to really say that I love you, respect you, and there's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job, and we're going to start winning again, and you're going to be leading the charge. So thank you very much. Thank you. You're beautiful. Thank you all very much. Have a good time. I'll be back. Thank you. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.